I assume I just share this link.
We're live.
Okay, awesome. Hello, everybody. This is the Master Tunes podcast with me, your host Jack Haywood. On the show today, we have our regulars. We have George, Ryoga,
Hey.
and Sylvia.
Hi.
Our usual
Ah.
guy who actually hosts the program is Carson, who is away at the moment watching the Oscars. God knows why, but he is. So we have to start with my internet, so it might cut in and out. So I think we're going to talk about the Cartoon Network news first. And a bit later, we're going to go into some Laurel and Hardy animated stuff, some other bits and pieces, and then we'll do our movie of the week, which is the Flintstones movie. So, Cartoon Network
Oi.
schedule. So they've just released the Cartoon Network schedule of the next year, and I mean a lot of it I don't really give a shit about, but there is some quite interesting stuff going on here.
Oh yeah, some really interesting stuff.
So, I think some of the most interesting things is there's going to be a Powerpuff Girls reboot next year. There's a Steven Universe Uncle Grandpa crossover special.
The
Regular
fuck?
time, regular show, the movie, and an Adventure Time special miniseries.
Yay!
So let's get into. Should we get into the Steven Universe one first?
Yeah, I think that's the most most worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sweet Jesus, where the fuck?
You can have the floor, George.
Okay, first off, I've only seen like a couple episodes of Uncle Grandpa. I don't think it's terrible or anything. I don't think it's good. I don't know. It's like modern Nickelodeon, except a lot more less bland and awful than most modern Nickelodeon kind of stuff. It's hard to explain, but anyway, I really like Steven Universe, but who in the fuck thought it was a good idea for Steven Universe and Uncle Grandpa to cross over? Like, I know one of the big
Rebecca
gimmicks
Sugar.
of Uncle Grandpa is that
Rebecca
I know it's
Sugar
one of the
did.
big gimmicks. What?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe, apparently it was her idea. Very strange.
I
Yeah.
got nothing.
Because,
I give up.
I mean, like, just to fill you in if you haven't watched either of the shows. So, Steven Universe is a show created by Rebecca Sugar, who garnered fame for working on Adventure Time, doing some of the key episodes, such as the Master Lean and Ice King episodes, which everyone doesn't shut the fuck up about. So she's very good. And she, so Steven Universe is about like a boy who's half human, half gem, and he fights with these three other gems to save the universe or whatever. It's a very nice show. I really like it. I always tune in, and it's gotten better and better and more interesting, like with the plot and everything. So
Yeah, I
some-
recently. Oh, continue, Jack.
I was saying, like, it's nothing like amazing, you know, like Last Airbender
Yeah.
or Adventure Time or anything. But I think it's just like a good, nice show that's like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna enjoy myself, and it's quite funny as well at times.
Yeah. I recently I've been a bit unbalanced with catching up with it, but I recently one of my friends sent me a link to check out one of the episodes. I think it was called On the Run.
That's a good episode.
Yeah.
That was fucking great. Like, that was one of the best episodes I've seen of the series, and it was
Definitely.
really fucking depressing as well.
Yeah.
Like, if any of you have seen the episode, like, Jesus, like. But anyway, like, I like the show a lot, but I just. Okay, I know it's her show. Like, it's her show. It's her creation. She has the ability to do whatever the hell she wants with it. I get that. But what thought process would you be in to put these two shows together? What about them says that they mix?
So to fill you in on Uncle Grandpa, I can't remember who created it.
Neither can I.
Who gives a shit, really? But
Yeah.
Uncle Grandpa kind of follows in the footsteps of like kind of the SpongeBob humor and that, where like the character sometimes enters on screen and goofy, wacky way, and he's kind of not normal in how his thought process is, and he talks funny and
Oh,
Whoa.
hi. Who
lots of
joined?
lots
Oh,
of
Del Rio.
goofy, wacky
Yeah.
hijinks for the
Yeah.
sake of it.
Well-
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Hello, I could hear you guys, but for some reason I could barely hear your voices.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Has it fixed for yourself now, mate?
What I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna put on some headphones. Hold on.
Okay.
I was about to talk about Uncle Grandpa. Is that I believe I was about to say the creator of Uncle Grandpa is the same person who did the short-lived Super
Mountain Fort Awesome.
Secret Market. Secret
Show.
Market. It's Peter Braungart.
Yeah,
And-
that's what it is, yeah.
So that's his name. And it is actually a spin-off of that series. To be, believe it or not.
What?
Right?
Yes. It is a spin-off of Secret Mountain Fort Awesome. Which just basically got more popular since nobody
Well, hang
likes
on.
Secret Mountain Fort Awesome.
Apparently, Secret Mountain Fort Awesome is
Yes.
actually based on his original short called Uncle Grandpa.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's Inception, layers of cartoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's shit, really. It's fast
Yeah.
food cartoon where there's nothing substantial. It's just like he
No.
goes in, there's a ridiculous scenario, and you're like, oh look, there's an elephant made of marshmallows, and it can fly and go to Mars, and he has to help some Martians with daddy issues. Like,
It's
okay, whatever. So to put these two shows together, I mean, it's kind of like putting I don't know, like Ren and Stimpy with Clarence or something.
No, not even.
it's
It's Ren and Stimpy with modern SpongeBob. Or in other words,
Or more like
stupidity.
Ren and Stimpy somehow ending up in Gravity Falls.
Ew, what?
That's perhaps the best way I would describe it.
Yeah,
Gravity
Ren and Stimpy
Falls?
and
Hell
Gravity
no.
Falls. Yeah,
oh man.
because like they both have
In
like,
terms of there's a big difference in the quality of the of these
They're
two
exactly
shows.
shit.
They're two different presentations. One is more of have a continuity base, more emotional, more heartwarming. The other is complete
Shit.
what the fuck what the fuckness. Is
Yeah.
that
No.
and then you have all of a sudden you get these two start to mix up together. Granted, Uncle Grandpa is one of Cartoon Network's top-rated shows. That's why it's having a second and a another season. Otherwise, they would have canceled it. So we can't deny the show that despite what our sayings about Uncle Grandpa, kids do love the show. The only thing
it's stupid.
that yeah.
Yeah.
So still, I just don't know what was on Rebecca's mind when just to be clear, Matt Burnett, one of the storyboard artists for Steven Universe, posted on his Tumblr account that it was indeed Rebecca Sugar's idea to have a crossover with these two shows, and there was an episode of Uncle Grandpa where I think it's a Halloween episode, but I'm not sure, where one of the minor characters there did dress up as Steven Universe.
Yeah.
So I said no. So I guess I would say that Peter Braungart and Rick Bushka may have known one of us. Hey, let's do the crossovers. And Braungart couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess we won't know what it's like until it airs, but we've got a lot to get through, so we should move on. But
Yes.
very quickly, how do you think it will work? Because, I mean, the problem with having like crossovers is that every show creates its own kind of set of logic and rules. So,
Yeah.
for instance, Harry Potter has like magic spells and stuff, right? But you know, if you just jump up under, with no magic, you're gonna fall
Yeah.
down 9.8 miles per second, gravity,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Normal gravity. But then, like, if you look at like Final Fantasy, these characters can fucking like jump a million miles in the air and then jump on each other. So it kind of suspends.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, they have done a crossover with Disney so many
yeah.
times now with the Kingdom Hearts series, and as far as everybody's concerned, the crossover has done very well. They were able to actually
absolutely.
mix these two franchises together without incident.
Yeah, but I just don't see Steven Universe with Uncle Grandpa. I mean, even though Steven Universe is an show, I mean, it has its episodes, but Uncle
But, like,
Grandpa, that needs to go to the dump.
Are they going to make him into a...
Okay,
No,
here's
hell no.
here's the
Please
description. Here's the description of what the special is. The special is going to called Say Uncle, and here's what it says. Two of your favorite Cartoon Network series, Steven Universe and Uncle Grandpa, are joining forces for a special crossover episode. Watch as a long-lost relative of Steven's comes to town to aid him in unlocking the power of his mother's gem.
But that doesn't make
So
any sense, because...
Does that mean Uncle Grandpa is Steven's long-lost relative?
Yeah, but
Oh, hell no.
It doesn't make any sense, because if he is related to Stephen, because it would have to be his dad's side of the family, because gems can't breed unless they have to give up their
Right.
form and everything. And his mum was a pure gem, right? So she wasn't a hybrid, so it must not be from her side of the family, so it's got to be from his dad's side of the family. But his dad isn't a gem, he's just like a normal fat bloke who permanently has sunburn. It's...
Yeah, that's perhaps
going to be related to ours.
that's perhaps the most bizarre thing, because how would these two characters, let alone these two different universes, could ever have a connection? Because they're two completely different shows. It's not like the Ben 10 and Generator Rex crossover. Yes, they're two different universes, but they were able to find a way to have themselves connected, in which
Same creators too, right?
yeah, it's Man of Action, but this is a completely different thing.
I mean, like,
I made my statement before in my extended podcast that Uncle Grandpa is designed to not have a continuity or a mythology, and we don't need to explain how Uncle Grandpa does what he does, because he's just simply Uncle Grandpa. It's kind of like Bugs Bunny. You don't need to know how he does all these crazy things, because he's Bugs Bunny. But then you have Steven Universe, that it does have a mythology, it does have a continuity. How would something that actually has like a narrative and another show where it's basically anything goes could ever mix together? It's so bizarre.
Okay, from that plot description, I'm just going to say it. That is probably the stupidest thing
greatest idea ever.
I have heard in weeks. And that's saying a lot.
But yeah,
God damn!
It's not the stupidest thing I've heard. Like, today, I don't know what it was, but all the TV networks decided to air the shittest movies they possibly could. Had the Furry Vengeance was on, the Day the Earth Stood Still remake, I had Pussy Galore, the Roger Moore James Bond, and then every shit sitcom on, like Big Bang Theory and that one with the guy that voices the cop wheelchair man in Family Guy. And he talks like this.
Yeah, with I don't think I know that one.
So basically, like, my standard is low for this Steven Universe crossover, I'm sure it is with all you guys. So I'm hopefully that Rebecca Sugar will be.
she better know what she's doing.
She'll maintain like the creative control over it. So like,
Yeah.
at least we'll have someone that like half knows what they're doing, looking after the episode.
As far as we know, Sugar does have a good track record with her storyboarding. We've already seen that with the Marceline episodes in Adventure Time, and it's many of her episodes in Steven Universe. So she can do that. The question is whether or not this is going to be considered a Steven Universe episode or an Uncle Grandpa episode. That's another thing.
Either which way, having to see the words Uncle and Grandpa next to Steven Universe is degrading.
Right.
Okay, so we've got to move on. We've got a lot to get through. So,
Okay.
regular show movie. So,
No.
it's really
Wow.
strange. They're calling it regular show the movie, right? But
Yeah.
then,
Right.
For now.
but then in the synopsis, it says from the creators of the hit show, hit Cartoon Network series regular show comes a time traveling long form special. So, special isn't the same as movie. Like, if it's like 45 minutes long, it's
No,
not
it might be
movie,
more than that.
you know, it's a special, really.
Yeah, like
Can I?
We
if
don't
I-
know how long it's going to be, though.
The Hey Arnold movie. How long is that? It's like an hour.
I have it right here actually. It's like it doesn't say here. Fuck, let me get the tape out.
But it's not going to be 40 minutes long.
But in other
Yeah,
words,
it's 75 minutes long.
it just looks like a regular show episode.
Yeah. After accidentally creating a time nado, Slackers, groundskeepers, Mordecai and Rigby go back in time, battle an evil volleyball coach in order to save the universe and their friendship. Basically, it's going to be very...
It's basically a regular show episode all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the regular show is kind of getting tired. Like, I really enjoyed last season, the direction it's taken. But this one is just kind of like a step backwards. It's hitting the same beats, it's the same... Literally, like, the last episode was... They had to make a new Happy Birthday song, and it was literally exactly the same as the
Thanksgiving episode.
one. They even said so. They even fucking, like, you said, like, oh, and last year winners of the Thanksgiving thing is these guys. It's literally almost the same. Like, I'm just getting really tired of this. I just want them to, like, focus more on their, like, relationships rather than the same beats. Like, oh, we got to do this and that. Yeah. So I don't really have much hope for this movie as well. Like, I hope it is really good, but it does sound like very generic regular show stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the baddie is like
Yeah.
a familiar object with arms and legs.
Whoa!
What is that?
What the hell?
That's not me. Well, that's Zachary.
Oh
He's-
god, I got
he
muted.
did say it was shitty.
That isn't cheap, that's fucking broken.
He does. It's right there.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
What the?
Hello?
What the motherfucking ass clown was that?
I did mute it.
Damn it!
There you go.
Okay.
I shut him up. Fucking hell.
I did ask him if he had another microphone. My mistake.
Anyway, thoughts and feelings on this movie?
Yeah, it's just gonna be another episode.
I guess
don't really
perhaps
care.
I'm the only one in this group who actually does watch regular show on a
I
regular
watch it.
basis.
Oh, I'll watch it.
I mean, I also watch it too because I don't know. I did enjoy some of the last episodes that came out lately. I did enjoy the Format Wars episode, which they do make fun of the DVD and the internet, all that stuff, and I believe I am surprised that they are going to do this movie as opposed to Adventure Time, who pretty much had to scrap their movie and just put some of the episodes in the current and the last season. But I guess because that regular show is now moving on a same level as, I would say, The Simpsons and Family Guy, but still being rated PG. So I guess they get to do these things.
Yeah. I hate
And
it,
also,
though.
I do know, from what I remember, from what I heard, that the current season, the J.G. Quinn, the creator, did say that he is gonna put the series on a slightly different direction. I guess he pretty much acknowledges that what everything he's done the past few seasons has been pretty much made more of the same. So everybody got tired of it. So it's trying to probably change the formula a bit to make it more likable. So and he is actually doing that with the last few episodes. While some remains still some of the same formula as with the last episode, the birthday episode.
Yeah, I mean, the Discourse 2 is kind of like everything wrong with the regular show at the moment in one episode.
Mhm.
There is like a nostalgia element to it. They wanted like an 80s vibe for it, so the adults
That's
can
actually another thing that I like. But I like to talk about the format wars because when basically Laserdisc died and comes to DVD, as bizarre as it was, it also gave me the impression that as to what particular time period the series takes place, and based on that, I think it's probably set around between the late 90s to the early 2000s. That's when the DVD started to becoming popular, which sort of explains why they have so much of the 80s nostalgia, and that episode where Thomas was revealed to be a Russian spy as being more of a post-Cold War era.
I suppose. I always thought it was like modern stuff, but they like
That's what I thought too. I thought that regular show was set in the present day and that everything was just a throwback to the 80s. But turns out, there is a reason why the 80s are there because of the time period they're in.
Yeah.
But it's still the same crap over and over again.
I don't get why they fought DVD because DVD and they had the internet. As
Yeah,
well,
I think.
which is far superior to Laserdisc or VHS. So just get the fuck over your nostalgia. Like if you want to watch it on NHS, just say like I like watching on NHS because there's nostalgia, but don't say it's fucking better.
But no, I think it's because of that about that time it was the norm. I mean, I'm trying to look back at. I'm actually looking at some of the past episodes and looking for any clues to help with the time period. I do remember looking when Mordecai uses his cell phone. It's not a smartphone or a flip phone. It's basically one of the early generation cell phones that came out. So that was one close. Like, okay, I know that took place in the 90s when you had the smaller phones and you had to press all those buttons. And then again, the fact that the cars aren't some of the other locations aren't so modern, and the use of the internet. That episode where they tried to prank each other and put it on YouTube, and there's this character, I believe Skip's friend, who knows about technology but couldn't know how to deal with the internet stuff. So that gave me the impression it's more sound that regular show is set during the 90s and early 2000s as opposed to the modern day.
That actually does make sense.
Yeah.
But which doesn't make sense because when J.G. Quintel was making regular show, I think in one of the interviews he was given in the early seasons, his concept is that the episode regular show will be episodic in itself, so there's going to be no connection to one another. But at some point, there is going to be a story arc that connects to the past episodes. But for the most part, you don't need to watch the very first season to get to the series. You just go to the cross-card one and then go on with it. So it's kind of like Uncle Grandpa in a sense, but they with a little bit of continuity throw in. But with the format wars, it's now becoming clear that there is some continuity going on. So which kind of, I don't know what to think of it. I actually would prefer regular to be just the way Quintel said before, but to have this sort of mythology already set up, it's mind-boggling, to say the least.
Okay. So let's just I think we should probably move on from this news article, but it's it's like a gold mine though, really.
It is.
I'm really excited for the Adventure Time thing since, I mean, most of the crew did make Over the Garden Wall.
What does it mean by like mini-series? Is it going to be like the same format as Over the Garden Wall, than like 10-minute episodes?
No, nobody knows. We don't even know. Here's the thing: the only clue I have is they have two other short miniseries going in. One is Long Live the Royals,
That was a good one.
It's from Sean Zellas. He also worked on regular show, and they aired the pilot on the Cartoon Network website. So they're gonna do a mini series of that, but it's gonna be digital only. So if you want to watch it, you have to watch it on the Cartoon Network website.
Oh, I just
Same goes with another one called Mighty Magiswords.
Yeah.
That's another new digital series. So I'm assuming that this special miniseries with regards to Adventure Time would follow the same thing, in that if you want to watch it, you have to watch it online.
Yeah.
Better not.
So it's not going to be available on TV.
Yeah, but like,
More
I mean,
importantly, yeah.
I just don't really care because I'm just gonna torrent it anyway. You know, like even if it was like showing exclusively to like a small supermarket in Russia, I'd still be able to just torrent it. They're literally.
More importantly, the Powerpuff Girls reboot. Now we know someone who's working on it.
Yeah.
We talked about it before, but now we know someone who's working on it.
Is it going to look like the horrible special?
Let's hope not.
We don't know. The only thing that we know is that Nick Jennings, who was the I think he worked on Adventure Time, will be the executive producer of this reboot.
He still does.
As well as the fact that Craig McCracken, the creator, and his wife Lauren Foss will not be working on the reboot because they're under contract with Disney and working on Wonder Over Yonder. So that's the trade-off. No McCracken and no Foss, which is sad. But we have the guy from Adventure Time working on this one. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like, we're not gonna know until it comes out. I mean, this guy's worked on some good shows. Like, he worked on the SpongeBob SquarePants series in the early years, the good stuff. Cat and Dog, Angry Beavers, Hey Arnold, Adventure Time, regular show. Usually, interestingly, he only seems to be a background painter, an art director.
Yeah.
So
I think before the Adventure Time, he's pretty much more like the art. He's just working on the arts. I think most of the time, for most of his career, he's a background painter, and art director.
Yes, he has no experience at all, like managing or leading an episode or even writing.
Right.
One. So.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna expect that much without McCracken and Foss. I would really love to see McCracken and Foss do this because it's their baby.
He's an old guy, so he might have been around the block a little bit.
Right.
He might know. No, I don't mean like in a gay way or anything. If that's
like
right.
One more really bad one is like the new acquired programming. Super Noobs from Scott Fellows. The Name of Hell Returns. Oh my god, I thought I was dead.
This is what I
for those of you who don't know who Scott Fellows is and why we hate him so much, he's the creator of Johnny Test, and this is his latest project, Super Noobs.
I hope it gets put in a fucking bin.
Oh, I thought Cartoon Network learned.
Nah, they have a good relationship with Scott Fellows, so obviously they're willing to bring in that as well as another season of Total Drama. So this time the Redonkulous race.
Yippee.
And
well,
the third one.
How about the Transformers one? Now, supposed to be on the Hub Network, but was moved after Hub Network went away.
Gives
Yes.
a shit about Transformers now.
The only thing, it is basically the sequel to Transformers Prime, but the animation style and the story will be more with Transformers Animated, which came before Prime. So it's gonna be more of a light-hearted, more comedic Transformers.
Oh Lord, not again! We're suffering through Teen Titans Go.
And Bumblebee will be Bumblebee is the main protagonist, and not Optimus Prime, because Optimus Prime is dead in the last series.
Well,
we got 2 steps forward, don't we?
I mean, I kind of wondered why can't they bring. I know Hasbro has already worked on this, but it would have been nice if they bring in Q Transformers, which is a Flash animated short that came in Japan. It's pretty much Prime, Bumblebee, and Lockdown going to places in Japan talking about random stuff. They're just talking, but it ends up being actually funny, and even you can see Prime himself doing funny things. And I watched the first episode. They were talking about how they do the 30th anniversary of Transformers, and I believe their Lockdown had this crazy idea, saying, "Hey, let's celebrate the 30th anniversary by making this series where me, Lockdown, you, Bumblebee, and you, Optimus Prime, we're gonna have a love triangle." And Bumblebee's like, "What the hell are you thinking? You want me to love it? Yeah, it's a love triangle." Imagine us looking at good-looking guys, teenage years, and you're falling in love with me, and then Optimus Prime falls in love with you, and then we have this fight. Also, like, what the fuck?
Jake, sum it up.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, or a gay robot.
Jake knows it all. Summing up my thoughts on stupid bullshit forever.
But you have to admit that was funny as hell. And
yeah.
even Opti, which is his nickname in this series, Optimus Prime's nickname, they call him Opti. Doesn't want to talk about it.
Oh.
Okay.
Are they doing a Teen Titans Go of Transformers?
Yeah, in a way, they're like Teen Titans Go Transformers.
That sounds fucking horrible.
But remember, the comedy is more of the The one thing I like about it is that when they talk, they don't talk as if they're from a script. They talk as if they're what we're doing. They're like in a podcast or something.
Oh, hey, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's best we move on.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a good lineup. I mean,
unless you want to include, I don't know, We Bare Bears.
No, I didn't give a shit.
Neither did I.
Oh, seriously, guys. In the Massatunes Assembled, I did post the link to the comic strip where it's based on. It's only nine strips, and I would have to say it is definitely Cartoon Network material. So
it's really
well, I'll definitely
you guys should check it out.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this next couple of years are going to be really interesting with the stuff we're going to get out of it. It's going to be some shit. It's going to be some good. There's going to be some risks that are either going to be serendipitous or war shit. Only time will tell. Okay. So on next news, I'm really keen to talk about this one. Is Laurel and Hardy animated series. So Gaumont Animation, however you say it, has secured the worldwide exclusive option to the animation rights to the iconic comedy duo Laurel and Hardy from Larry Harmon Picture Corp. The French animation company is set to finance, produce, and distribute an all-new 78 times 7 minutes 2D animated series titled Laurel and Hardy. The new comedy series is aimed at children aged 5 to 8, and they plan to support the series with licensing and merchandising campaigns.
Okay, one question. Who in this generation knows about those two?
Me? I fucking love Laurel and
No,
Hardy.
I mean 5 and 8-year-olds.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Who knows? Like Mr. Peabody and Sherman, that movie bombed because almost no one knew about them.
So, you young whippersnappers out there watching this who don't know who Laurel and Hardy is, pause this video, go on YouTube, and just watch them because they're fucking amazing. I love Laurel and Hardy. I grew up.
I mean, I love them too. I mean, just so you know, Laurel and Hardy, a bit of a history. They are a comedy duo that existed during the 1920s up to the 1940s, and they were popular long before the Three Stooges came to town. And one of the things that made them last is that a lot of comedians, even modern comedians today, actually owe of their craft to Laurel and Hardy. And yes, so the problem is that although their humor is pretty much more related to their time period, the one thing that's good about them, for me personally, at least, is that their humor does stand the test of time. That even
Oh yeah.
today, you can still find them very, very, very humorous. Unlike, I would say, as much as I like the Three Stooges and Charlie Chaplin, their humor's, well, probably good during their time. They're not that so humorous now.
Right. Right.
Same thing goes with Lucille Ball in her I Love Lucy series. But Laurel and Hardy is just one of those few where when they make something funny, it lasts a really, really long time.
Yeah, I mean,
But
what
their
Lauren
age
Hardy,
group is just so wrong.
we'll get to that.
Okay.
I just love Lauren Hardy so much because we used to grow up with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm more of the fan of the talkies because they have this like ability. I've been watching them recently in some interviews and stuff because as they started as silent comedians, a lot of it was physical. And when they moved to the transition of talkies, a lot of comedians like couldn't stop talking, like kind of like modern comedies now, where most of the humor is just them talking and saying funny things rather than doing things. But how Lauren Hardy did it was like the way they used dialogue was kind of like sparingly, just to like kind of help the situation evolve. And they'll take like
Right.
the simplest concept. So there's a really good one where they're like Oliver wakes up and his house is a mess because his wife was out and he had a party and she's back at noon. So he gets Stan in to help clean the house, and that's all the episode is. They have to clean the house. So it's very simple, but the way they do it is just really hilarious. And again, like there's a lot of physical comedy in it.
It's more like slapstick, what you call it.
Yeah,
Or
but
play of
it's
slapstick.
it's not really goofy. It feels like just right. Like the Three Stooges is kind of goofy, and some of Charlie
Right.
because it's kind of like it's physical comedy. Like it's too expressive almost. While like Lauren Hardy can just they just get it just right, the comic timing and everything. So with regards to the animated series, I mean, there was actually an animated series in the 60s, and I watched
60s, 70s.
Yeah.
They're actually created by Hanna-Barbera.
I watched a quick, yeah, and I was very disappointed really because like it was a very strange episode where like they kind of talked, but they're kind of like acting like the characters, but the situation was Stan hypnotizes himself into acting like a dog,
Right.
and that's the whole episode, like he acts like a dog, and
I believe by the time the animated series was doing on, I think the duo already passed on, or at least Hardy passed on, and Stan Laurel was still alive. And it was also about the same period where the Three Stooges already had their animated series. Unlike Laurel and Hardy, the Three Stooges do manage to voice their animated counterparts. But in the case of Laurel and Hardy, because neither Laurel and Hardy are able to do voices for obvious reasons, it has to be done by a completely different team. So the only thing that stands with them is their likeness, but everything else completely original. So I didn't actually like it, but that said, it was popular enough viewed by kids that they actually had a crossover with Scooby-Doo in one of the Scooby-Doo movie episodes.
I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it.
Yeah, I think there was one. I think the new Scooby-Doo movies they do had a crossover with Laurel and Hardy and the Three Stooges among other characters. Yeah,
I mean, like one of the reasons why Lauren and Hardy worked as well as it did was they were under this production company and had this guy called Hal Roach as their producer, who kind of let them have creative freedom. And Stan Laurel, the kind of the skinny, short one, he contributed a lot of the gags. He was in the writing room, coming up with a lot of the jokes, and he basically directed several episodes, but uncredited. When they signed with Fox, they had a lot of creative freedom taken away from them, hence the quality of episode decline. So bringing it up to this modern day with Gomu animation, like they don't have Stan Laurel basically, and you know, unless they can really like kind of access the essence of what made it so good and stuff, I mean, like they've made some decent stuff. I mean, most of it I don't recognize, but they did Mona the Vampire, which I liked as a kid. I was in co-production with
They did Franklin, so you know they did Franklin, which is a
Franklin.
Nick Jr. series.
Oh.
The Baskervilles was another well-known children's show.
Never heard of it. Robot Boy.
The Mysteries of Alfred Hedgehog. That came out, I believe, was it on PBS or something? But it's pretty much well known, very popular. It's also popular within the Fortune community, and Robot Boy, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Back then.
Decent shows from what I seem to remember from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
But as Sylvia pointed out, it's aimed towards 5 and 8-year-olds, and Lauren Hardy. What made it so funny was it was aimed like for everybody. Like it was never crass. Like, you know, there's no joke about like, look how big her tits are, or you know, a lot of modern comedies like, you know, that guy's naked and penis is swinging. Right? You know, it wasn't crass. But there was still kind of like an adult vibe going on. Like they smoked. They had drinks. Like they went to like there was adult scenarios where they go to like a bar or something. It wasn't like straight for kids, but kids could appreciate it because it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it's accessible to everyone, and for this to be aimed at 5 to 8-year-olds, and they want merchandising out of it, that to me isn't a good mix from, you know, for the original source material. Like they're going to be wanting to like make goofy scenarios, probably some goofy, like a funny pet that they can make a toy out of. I mean, they actually had a dog in an episode. Like I can kind of see if they brought that back, Laughing Gravy, which was quite funny.
All right.
And
I never saw or watched Laurel and Hardy Kill Me, but I do know about them, which is why I'm concerned about who would appreciate it now.
Yeah, because the humor, how like an episode is kind of framed, it's like, because obviously it's quite old and have like the technology and stuff, but most of it, the framing is very simple, but it works to the episode's advantage, where you can just like appreciate all their movements and such. While with animation, like things tend to be like kind of thick and fast, especially in the 21st century. So I'm just gonna say it's probably gonna be an okay show, but it's not gonna be anything true to the source material.
I would agree, considering that it's aimed at kindergarteners. So we're not gonna expect Laurel and Hardy to have this version of Laurel and Hardy to have the same amount of humor as the original comedy duo did. So
yeah, sure.
But yeah, so it's not something to expect. But still, the fact that they are bringing them back, and believe it or not, there are still fans of Laurel Hardy even today, despite their ages. So it's probably not as big as, I don't know, as Rowan Atkinson or Mr. Bean, for instance.
Yeah.
But they're still there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you want to watch a couple of their episodes, I've got like I did link a couple in the news article. Like Bo Hunks is pretty good. The Music Box. There's a hospital one. I can't remember what it's called, but that one's really funny.
Yeah, I love that hospital episode.
Toad in the Hole, where again it's a very simple concept. Like all they have to do is fix a boat, and Stan just like fucked it up repetitively. But it's just so creative. Like you'd be watching him sitting down with all his props in front of him, but you won't know what's gonna happen. Like you won't know what he's gonna use.
Right.
You know, even something as like simple as him like reading the paper. He goes to like trim it out. He puts it on the chair, and then he cuts out a square of the chair, and then you think that might be it, and then it leads later and builds up and stuff. So I just don't think it's gonna work as an animated series. And I think like if people are like, oh yeah, Lauren Hardy, I like them. It's like, okay, which ones have you watched? Like, oh, I've watched the animated series, like blah blah. It's like, well, it's nothing like that, really.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like
it kind of gives it like a bad name almost.
like the Mr. Peabody and Sherman movie. Even though it was a good movie, no one knew about them.
Yeah, or the Mr. Bean animated series. Like, I didn't think the animated series was that bad, but it was very different to the live action series, and you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah. So I'm not exactly looking forward to it, but if it makes more people watch the original series, that's a good thing.
I
Yeah.
would agree.
Yeah. Okay, so probably the next thing we should talk about. I think we should do one more article and get on to the movie of the week.
Yeah.
So don't have like a burning desire to talk about anything.
Not really.
So let's see. What do you guys want? What do you guys want to do? We can either talk about, I don't know. We can have the return of Invader Zim in comic book format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, a lot of the news I don't really like. I don't think this is like especially interesting to talk about because it's just gonna be like conjecture.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Or I don't know,
the Wonder Woman news, for instance. Like the movie is going to be finally going to
production right now.
like it's just like, oh, that's gonna be filmed. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, come on.
And I don't know, Dan Slott saying that it is still possible that Sony's version of Spider-Man will feature Peter Parker, but it's black. Kind of like how Fox did with Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch. I mean, that's another one.
See, I don't really mind that. I would just like to I think if they're going to make a black Peter Parker, then that's kind of like their minority quota like fulfilled, and they won't bother with Miles Morales.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think the Miles Morales story.
Yeah.
I said last week, like, it's really fresh and interesting. I'd really like to see that alongside Peter Parker.
Mhm.
I mean, if they do both, like a black Peter Parker and then Miles Morales, that would be
He's
great.
white.
He's white.
that would raise pitchforks.
That would be strange. They'd have to do that on purpose, really. Like, you know.
Right. Let's see what else. There's
I
gonna
think
be a
the
third.
Invader Zim thing is pretty important since it's Nick.
I think I think the comic's gonna be really good. I'm kind of glad that it's not gonna be, it's not like Invader Zim rebooted for Adult Swim because I've seen a couple of shows go very quickly downhill. For example, the Ren Stimpy Adult Party show. Like, it was the creators working on it, and they're like, oh yeah, we really enjoyed being able to write and do what we wanted, but like what we got was a horseman helping Stimpy give birth to a big turd baby. And I'm not even joking. Like this is shit, literally and metaphorically.
But it seems like Johan and
disgusting.
Nickelodeon.
It's just I don't know. It's just I just can't. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I would have to agree. I used to watch Ren and Stimpy. It's really not in my taste. But watching the more adult version even makes it more disgusting on a personal level than I actually thought. I know this is what the creator wanted, but.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's the same thing with George Lucas. Like sometimes, creators can make the best stuff when they're being limited by a format or other people having their ideas inputted.
Yeah, and then they can make the worst things. I mean, like, man, George.
Okay, it's like, okay, George, for the prequels, you can make what you like. We won't stop you. Go for it. And what did we get? A steaming pile of horse manure.
I would agree. Oh man, why did he honestly, when he decided to redo the trilogy and then do the new trilogy, he pretty much ruined it.
I'm having to torrent these really obscure versions of the old trilogy. That's been like done by fans. So it's in like.
I mean, the part in. I mean, let's see. The part in episode 6, where Vader started saying no as he tried to save Luke Skywalker from the Emperor. That was like, what's the point? It was good in the original cut. He didn't have to say anything. He just does action, but you have to let him say no.
Yeah. It was like,
because let's forget about subtlety.
They changed the ghost, so they switched the old Anakin to Hayden what's it called, Christian.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. I was about to say Hayden Panettiere, but that was
And like,
no,
it's
that was
so pointless. Like, Luke would be like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then they added in Samuel Jackson as well. I'm pretty sure they did. Did
It's
they?
like-
No, I don't think they did actually. It's like,
what?
but why?
Yeah.
Why would you have the young Anakin when the other guys are old? It's just pointless.
I am just so. It actually made me think that for once I'm happy Lucas is not involved in Episode 7.
Yeah.
And that this is going to be this J.J. Abrams thing.
So, yeah, thank fucking Christ.
Sheesh. Anyhow, moving on, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should just do movie of the week, really. I mean, I've got stuff to do.
Okay, not a
same.
problem.
Alright, so, millions of listeners, we're going to close this chat, and we're going to start a new hangout. Okay?
Right.
Thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, comment, tweet, bleep, beep, doop, weep, buddy, bye bye. Wait, how do I switch it off from being live? Oh, there's a stop.